Hello, welcome to Woodline Tracking. It's a decent day here in Ohio. Today we're going to talk about checkpoints and to control entry points, CEPs. Something that you will have to do in a grid down or a high security, where you need high security, you will have to do at least control entry points, maybe checkpoints in your community. You will have to do this before you would ever have to do any room clearing. So I recommend you come here, take a class, or go someplace and get a class. And it's in my handbook, so you can read the handbook, but the handbook isn't like going to a class. It just gives you a rough idea of protocols, but it's nothing like going to a class and have to experience it and seeing how it's done. Do it before you do room clearing if you're worried about zombie apocalypse. Is something you will have to do to keep your family and your castle safe and your community safe. Okay, so let's get into it. By the way, I just did a class with a group of a great group. It's called Central Ohio Minutemen. They were fantastic. They were a treat to have in the class. They were representing themselves very good. They were very smart. They were well trained. A good group, a good militia group here in Central Ohio that you might want to check out if you're interested. I was impressed by them, and they knew they needed more training, so they came here to take their class. And if they're watching, let them comment on it. They can comment however they want what they thought of the class. So let's get started. Checkpoints and control entry points. There's a difference between them. A checkpoint is you be out on a road somewhere, checking people, everybody is coming through. A control entry point will be like at your base, keeping track of who's leaving and who's entering, and denying access to people and not allowing them to get too close to your castle. Okay? A checkpoint, the biggest thing on a checkpoint is planning. Where you're going to put it. Like someplace you can't see from far away, like around a curve or something. The next is why you're out there. What's the purpose of you doing this checkpoint? What are you looking for? What are the primary and secondary items you're looking for, or information you need to get? What should you write down? What is the law? You got to follow the law. What is the law of your community or state or where you're going? You know? When can you search the vehicle? When can you not search the vehicle? When can you search the individual, you know? What do you do with vehicles of interest? What happens if the traffic becomes too heavy? What questions should you ask? And that's the key, because all of this is about, because most places you can't search a vehicle and get them out of the vehicle without probable cause or them giving you permission. So you need to ask good questions. Now they probably like to talk about themselves, so you got to get them talking and know what questions to ask and keep the flow going. But it's something that you should train. Typically you should have a 3-man minimum team at a time out on checkpoint. You have a guy that will probably approach the driver on the driver's side from the back, a guy watching in here in the back corner or someplace in here, and then a guy on overwatch like a 308 or something, someplace in here. I just draw a simple little picture. Your terrain and what you're doing will matter most on that. So you need to practice it. You can screw it up easy, just like the guys in the class. Now they learned a lot, and at the end they were doing great. Next is controlled entry points. It's something you will have to do, and you have to put planning up, because you don't want them to get past your second perimeter up to your castle, because we basically teach you a 3-perimeter defense. So you have to have a way, like a gate or a barricade or something, to stop them from driving up your driveway, because most bad guys in like third world countries and stuff, they will just want to storm you. They'll come up fast with you on vehicles, get out and storm you and try to take what you have. So that's one tactic that a lot of these gangs will use, or bad hombres. So you want to stop them before they get there. You want to make sure that who's leaving and why they're leaving your compound, and make sure that they get checked back in. So you want to put up one of these control entry points. Now, terrain will matter a lot. Typically, you probably will want something up down by the road, like a cable or chain, with a sign or something that says, danger, do not pass this, contact us, contact security at this frequency or this channel for permission to come. So if somebody pulls in, they will contact security. Then you have protocols of what questions you probably ask them. Then you probably have them drive up to within 50 yards of the gate or so to the barricade. You probably will stop them there, and then you start doing your questioning there. Again, a minimum of 2 nights or 2 people to do this, and probably have Overwatch up too. So then you got to go into, do you shorts the vehicle? Do you shorts the guy? How do you do that? What questions should you ask? If the people aren't answering questions or they're being rude, what should you do? What action should you take? If it's one of your guys that went out to the grocery store and came back, and you ask him, did you leave your vehicle unattended? And he goes, yes, you need to search the vehicle. Probably mostly outside, unless there's signs that someone broke into it, to make sure no one put a bomb or a tracking device or anything on it, because you never know what they might do in these situations. So those are just some typical things you should look out for on this. But you need to have a plan on how to keep a control entry point up 24/7, and how to deal with problems. What if somebody comes up looking for food, looking for help? How should you deal with them? What happens if they run the cable at the end? What should you do? I mean, run the cable at the beginning and heading up to your barricade in your gate. What should you do? Where do you put your team? Inside the gate or outside the gate? All these are questions you need to walk through and come up with protocols, SOPs on how you should deal with it. Again, we go through a lot of it in the handbook, but you probably should take a class. So this is a little something to think about. And again, this applies to a grid down, 4th generation or atmosphere. So time may go on, but your life may not. Enjoy.